Colorado High School Activities Association baseball is on B106 and B106.com this afternoon from Elizabeth High School. It's a Colorado 7 league battle as the visiting Fort Morgan Mustangs face the Elizabeth Cardinals. I'm John Beltran. As these teams have both played 13 games so far, the Mustangs at 13-0, Elizabeth at 10-3. But these games coming up today and tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning's game at Fort Morgan on B106 and B106.com at 11 o'clock could essentially decide the Colorado 7 title, considering Elizabeth and Fort Morgan are both 10-0 on the season. So we're going to bring you the starting lineup for the Mustangs, brought to you by Blodorn Lumber at blodornlumber.com. You can browse the virtual showroom, view the current sales flyer, complete a credit application, and shop the entire inventory online. Doesn't matter if you're a contractor or painting your kitchen. At Blodorn Lumber, you'll get the same friendly service and advice to make the job easier. Friendly place, serious service. That is Blodorn Lumber. Batting first for Fort Morgan is the pitcher David Mendez. The shortstop Ulysses Hernandez hits second. Catcher James Martins is the third hitter. The cleanup hitter is the left fielder Nate Alexander. Batting fifth is the first baseman Wes Anderson. The DH Jarrett Bohm hits sixth. Missile Franco, the third baseman, hits seventh. In right field, Jacob Frick hits eighth. And Sergio Baquera, the center fielder, is batting ninth. For Elizabeth defensively, Stuart Urich is at first. The second baseman is Brandon Severinson. Willie Weber's at third, and between him as short as Cody Steinke. Around the outfield, Brody Oliver's in left, Tyler Erzin in center, Jeff Stevens is in right. Behind the plate is Brett Yates, and on the mound is right-hander David Wallstrom. Elizabeth wearing their home whites with the red numerals on those St. Louis Cardinals socks, and the Mustangs dressed in their road grays with the maroon numerals and lettering. As David Mendez will step in momentarily for Fort Morgan to lead off this game. Mustangs have not played in a week when they swept Vista Peak in a doubleheader at home, winning 11-0 and 17-0. Wallstrom's numbers very good so far this year in 22 innings, a 3-1 record, a .95 ERA. So he certainly has established himself statistically, along with Cody Steinke as the number 1 and 2 pitchers on this team. So here is Mendez for Fort Morgan. Opening pitch brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Mendez hitting .341 as he steps in against the right-hander. And Mendez, of course, has been very effective this year for the Mustangs, so we could see a tremendous pitching duel here this afternoon from Elizabeth. As Wallstrom will wind in the opening pitch of the game. It's a fastball right there for a strike down the middle, belt high. It's 0-1. You can follow us pitch by pitch at KSIRsports.com. A detailed account of this game. Once again, KSIRsports.com. Follow us pitch by pitch. And the breaking ball is in the dirt. Blocked by Yates. 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of unplayable field conditions throughout Colorado because of the weather earlier this week, but it's looking very good here in Elizabeth. Up the first base side, maybe a little bit damp. 1-1. Fastball is maybe a little high, just above the belt. Ball 2, strike 1 to David Mendez. Yates lays down the sign. The right-hander on the left side of the rubber will kick and fire. And that fastball is in the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike. If either team sweeps over the next 2 days, that would virtually assure them of the Colorado 7 title, considering that they're both 6-0. 3-1 to David Mendez. And the offering, and that fastball is a strike. Nope, a little bit high. I thought Mendez was going to stop after taking a couple of steps, but then he went back a little bit off the plate, so Mendez walks. Here's Ulysses Hernandez hitting .472. He's driven in 15. Those 15 ribbies are second on the team. Mendez with a 2-step lead, certainly a threat to run for the Mustangs. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on. That ball's grounded up the middle. Could be 2. Shortstop steps on second for 1. The throw to first for 2. That's a 6-3 double play, as it was turned over there by Cody Steinke. And there's 2 down. Well, that was quick on one pitch. Recording the 2 outs there. There's James Martins hitting from the right side. And the breaking ball swung on, line towards center, now going back, and the ball is over the head of the center fielder. Martins around first, he's headed towards second, and he's going to round second, and he's going to head towards third, and he will have a 2-out triple. Well, Tyler Erzin came in a couple of steps and completely misjudged the ball. That allowed Martins to glide into third. And that'll bring up Nate Alexander. Alexander stepping in from the right side. Yeah, if Erzin judges that ball correctly, he's got an easy catch, in fact, but he came in 2 or 3 steps. The offering. And that ball is down, took something off it. 5-11 is Martin's batting average. 1 ball, no strikes. To the Mustang catcher. Check that. The Mustang catcher on third. The 1-0 offering. Swung on. That's lifted deep in the left center field. Back is Erzin. He's going back towards the track, and it's over his head up against the bottom of the fence. Martin scores, and into second, and now rounding second, going to third is Alexander. The throw, the slide, the tag, and the ball is deflected anyway, so it's a straight-up triple. An RBI triple as no tag could be applied because the ball, I believe, hit the base runner, and the Mustangs lead 1-0. And the Mustangs are going up there swinging. They're not taking too many pitches with the exception of the opening hitter, David Mendez, who walked on 5 pitches. So back-to-back triples, and that'll bring up Wes Anderson, the first baseman, hitting from the left side. The pitch, and that's up and away with a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Anderson awaits the 1 ball, no strike pitch from David Wallstrom, the Elizabeth right-hander. Here it is, and that's down and away. Mendez began the inning with a walk, and then a 6-3 double play eliminated Hernandez and Mendez, but then back-to-back triples from Martins and Nate Alexander. 2 balls and no strikes to the Mustang first baseman. The wind by Wallstrom, and the offering swung on and grounded to first, and off the first baseman's glove, he'll pick it up and step on the bag for the out. As Stuart Urich puts it away. The Mustangs come up with 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left at third. We head to the bottom of the first inning. It's Fort Morgan 1, and the Elizabeth Cardinals coming to bat right here on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs have a 1-0 lead going into the bottom of the first inning on Nate Alexander's RBI triple. Here's the starting lineup for the Elizabeth Cardinals, the home team. Batting first is the center fielder Tyler Erzin. The shortstop Cody Steinke hits second. Left fielder Brody Oliver is the third place hitter. The cleanup hitter is the right fielder Jeff Stevens. David Wallstrom, the pitcher, hits fifth. Third baseman Willie Weber is the sixth hitter. Brandon Severinson, the second baseman, bats seventh. Catcher Brett Yates is in the eighth position. And Stuart Urich, the first baseman, will be batting ninth. Mustangs have Wes Anderson at first. Tony Zwedzig at second. Missile Franco at third. Ulysses Hernandez at short. As we'll get to the first pitch here. And that fastball is a little bit high. 1 ball, no strikes. Alexander in left. Baqueta in center. Frick in right. Behind the plate is Martins. And on the mound is David Mendez. And the 1-0 bounces it in there to the right-handed hitting Tyler Erzin. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, Mendez has put up some tremendous numbers on the hill, but this is the biggest game he'll pitch all season. 2 balls and no strikes to Erzin. And the offering. The fastball's right there on the inner half for a strike. 2-1. Mendez gets the sign from Martins. And the 2-1 offering. And the breaking ball waved out and missed. Well outside, but the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mendez 5-0 record with a .47 ERA going into this one. And the 2-2 down and in with a heater. That's the only issue with Mendez at times. He'll run into deep counts because he's a strikeout pitcher. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Tyler Erzin to begin the bottom of the first with the Mustangs leading 1-0. Here's the wind and offering. And the breaking ball is A called strike three in the inside corner. There's one down. And that froze Erzen. That'll bring up Cody Steinke. The Elizabeth shortstop also hitting for the right side. And Mendez not afraid to throw a 3-2 breaking balls. He demonstrated there. Martins gets the sign for the dugout, lays it down. And the pitch. And the breaking ball swung over and missed. It's 0-1. You don't have to travel out of town to receive the best and most advanced hearing health care. Platte Valley Hearing Center, 409 East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. And the 0-1. Fastball is just inside. The count is level. At 1-1 strike to Cody Steinke. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing. 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the first inning from Elizabeth. Here's the wind and pitch. Fastball runs inside. Ball 2, strike 1. Mustangs generated their rally with 2 out and nobody on back-to-back triples. 2-1 pitch. The breaking ball is well outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. And again, that's one of the issues with Mendez. Very effective pitcher, but already has thrown 10 pitches to less than 2 hitters, and 6 of them outside of the zone. And the 3-1 fastball is a strike at the knees. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The left-handed hitting Brody Oliver's on deck. Barnes lays down the sign. And the payoff, swung on and lifted into shallow right field. Jacob Frick comes in a few steps, is under it, and makes the two-handed catch, and there's 2 down. 2 down for Brody Oliver. Big, strong left-handed hitter for Elizabeth. And once again, these teams will also meet tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock right here on B106 and B106.com as Mendez looks into the left-handed hitter. Wind and pitch. And the ball is off the glove of Martins, down in the zone. 1 ball, no strikes. Brody Oliver, the left fielder for Elizabeth. And Mendez delivers the 1-0. Swing and a miss with a fastball tailing away. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Big gap there in left center field. 1-1 pitch. Down in the zone. Ball 2, strike 1. With Sergio Baquerra playing towards right center, a shade. 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 out, nobody on. Bottom of the first inning, the Mustangs in the lead, 1-0. And the pitch, and the breaking ball swung on and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting Brody Oliver. Mendez has struck out 1 already here in the bottom of the first inning. And the 2-2 swung on and grounded right back to Mendez to his left, and he'll toss it to first, and it's a 1-2-3. Bottom of the first inning. We head to the second in Elizabeth. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.com. In a battle of league undefeateds, the Mustangs lead the Elizabeth Cardinals 1-0 as we head to the second inning against right-hander David Wallstrom, who allowed back-to-back 2-out triples to James Martins and Nate Alexander, plating the game's only run. The Mustangs in the frame will send up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Jared Bohm, Missile Franco, and Jacob Frick. Bohm, the junior, steps in, hitting .312, driven in 14 on the season. And the temperature is in the 50s, so and very little wind to speak of. The wind and offering. That's right there for a strike. Took something off it down the middle at the knees. It's 0-1. The right-handed hitting Jared Bohm. Yates lays down the sign, the pitch. The breaking ball's down and away. Count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. After today's game, both teams will have 5 games remaining in the regular season, including one against each other tomorrow morning in Fort Morgan. The pitch, breaking ball down and away again. Ball 2, strike 1 to Jared Bohm. 502 Ensign in Fort Morgan, B&B Appliance can help you save water, energy, and the environment without sacrificing quality and performance. Change for the better with B&B Appliance. 2 ball, 1 strike pitch. Swung on and lifted foul, off to the right and out of play. The count is level at 2-2. To Jared Bohm, the DH for Fort Morgan this afternoon. And the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball is down and away again. 3-2. Well, it didn't hurt Wallstrom when he walked the opening hit of the game since Ulysses hit into a double play. He's trying to avoid that right now. It'll be a payoff pitch to the Mustang DH, and it's a fastball low. Second walk issued by Wallstrom. Here comes Missile Franco. Franco hitting .267. Well, let's see in what is anticipated to be a pitcher's duel if the Mustangs play some small ball. Bohm has got a lot of speed. He was one of the top running backs this year. Dives back into first off the throw. Again, you can follow this game pitch by pitch at KSIRsports.com. A detailed account. You can go back to the last inning or many of the previous games. And the offering squaring to Bund, lays it up the third base side. Wallstrom's going to have to barehand it. He throws to first in time as Franco's retired. The sacrifice is successful, 1-3. And that's an excellent bunt by Missile Franco, advancing the runner. That'll bring up Jacob Frick. Frick hitting .323, driven in 12. Frick does have a home run this year as well. The Mustangs with a 1-0 lead, 1 on, 1 out here in the top of the second inning from Elizabeth. And the pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball riding up and in. 0-1 to Frick. Yeah, when that thing gets up in the eye, sometimes it gets tempting. Easier to see sometimes than a ball down in the zone, but you lay off of that, it's 1-0. Instead, it's 0-1. The pitch. Breaking ball is just a little bit down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. The right-hander David Wallstrom against the right fielder Jacob Frick. With Jared Bohm at second, he walked to begin the inning. Frick hitting with an open stance from that right side. Wallstrom stretches. Wallstrom pitches. Right there on the outside corner with a heater. Thigh high, it's 1-2. Bohm with a conservative lead at second with a shortstop Steinke shading a little bit now back to his normal position. Now the second baseman Severson shading a little bit towards the bag. And the 1-2. Fastball's upstairs. The count is level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Frick is the 8th place hitter in this Fort Morgan lineup. 1-0 Mustangs in the second on Nate Alexander's 2-out RBI triple. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him with a fastball. Let her high, and there's 2 down. 2 down for Sergio Paquera. The 9th place hitter is the Mustang center fielder, is hitting .200 on the year. Yates lays down the sign. And Wallstrom doing a very nice job of pacing himself on the hill. And the offering. That's upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. To the Mustang center fielder. Stop, shop, and save with all of your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. Brush Grocery Cart, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. And the 1-0 pitch swung on and grounded to first. Urich has got it on 3 hops, and he will step on the bag for the out. The inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We head to the bottom of the second inning in Elizabeth. It's Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth 0. This is B106 and B106.com. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up for Elizabeth as we head to the bottom of the second inning in Elizabeth, and the Mustangs of Fort Morgan leading by a score of 1-0. David Mendez will face Jeff Stevens, David Wallstrom, and Willie Weber, as Stevens will step in from the right side. Mendez struck out 1 in the opening frame in throwing 17 pitches. And the pitch, and the breaking ball is a beauty. Well, that's a sharp curveball right at the knees. It's 0-1. Stevens with a slightly close stance awaits the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and fisted on the ground right back to Mendez. Kind of like a three-quarter swing. He throws to first, and there's 1 out. Had to take a rather defensive swing because the fastball was riding in on Stevens. 1 down for David Wallstrom. The pitcher hitting .333 on the year. Now Mendez does have a no-hitter to his credit, 2-1 this year against La Junta. And that La Junta tournament last month, the pitch. And that's upstairs and inside. Looked like a curveball that didn't really curve. 1 ball, no strikes. Mendez gets the sign from James Martins. And the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and grounded left side into left field for a base hit beyond the diving Franco. And Elizabeth has their first base hit of the game. That'll bring up the third baseman, Willie Weber. As Wallstrom is on first base with 1 out. Weber hitting from the left side. Got a few lefties in this lineup for Elizabeth, including the on-deck hitter, Brandon Severinsen. Very short lead over there, about a 2-step lead. And a pitch, swing and a miss. Chase Evans is the courtesy runner for Elizabeth. 1 ball. Check that. No balls, 1 strike. Throw back to first, back in diving is Evans. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. We're at the bottom of the second inning. Fort Morgan leads Elizabeth 1-0 on a first inning RBI triple from Alexander, and the fastball rides outside. And the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Both teams are 6-0 in Colorado 7 league play. They're easily the top 2 teams. Throw back to first, close, but back in diving is Evans. Mendez had him leaning a bit, but Evans was alert. Back into the box is Weber. And the 1-1. And the breaking ball is on the inside corner for a strike, thigh high, and it's 1-2. A lot of late action on that curveball from David Mendez. 2-step lead for Evans at first. The stretch by the Mustang senior. And the offering. And the breaking ball's up and away. Count is level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Willie Weber. And he's been swinging a nice stick this year, hitting .424. The offering. Swung on and missed. Runner going to throw to second by Martins to slide, and he's going to be safe. It's a strikeout of Weber and a stolen base by Chase Evans. So there's 2 down. That'll bring up the left-handed hitting second baseman Brandon Severinsen. Second strikeout for Mendez. Severinsen with an open stance. The stretch by Mendez, and Severinsen hitting .406. Swung on and fouled off to the left and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. A young, talented team. Full of underclassmen. Elizabeth's going to be even more dangerous next year. Here's the stretch. And the 0-1. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, and a ball down and in. And the count is at 0-2. Chase Evans at second. 2 down, bottom of the second inning, with the Mustangs holding a 1-run advantage. No balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Severinsen, the stretch. And Mendez delivers. Fastball is up and away. Ball 1, strike 2. Yeah, this field, compared to other fields, in remarkably good condition. With the weather we had this week, the stretch, and the 1-2, and that's upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan in Fort Morgan and Brush is Equitable Savings and Loan. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 on. And Mendez delivers. Swung on and fouled straight back. Challenged him with a heater. Severinsen got a solid piece of it. The count remains at 2-2. Elizabeth picked up their first hit of the game on a David Wallstrom 1-out single. The courtesy runner Evans at second. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mendez comes home. In the dirt with a curveball blocked by Martins. 3-2. Mendez has a couple of bases open, but I'm sure he'd like to start the third inning with a number 8 hitter up there. 3 balls, 2 strikes, with 2 down and 1 on. Throw back to second, and boy, Hernandez had to go behind him just to make the catch. That ball almost sailed into center field. Looking for the cheap out there, but Evans is certainly alert out there. He's aware of the situation. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Severinsen. Stretched by Mendez. And the pitch. That is a called strike 3, a fastball in the outer half of the inning is over. 2 strikeouts for Mendez in the inning 3 in the game. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left at second. We head to the third after the break. It's Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing. This is B106 and B106.com. Right-hander David Wallstrom begins his third inning of work for Elizabeth. The Mustangs with a 1-0 lead on Nate Alexander's RBI triple with 2 down in the first. And it will be the top of the order that Wallstrom will be facing Mendez, Hernandez, and Martins. Mustangs have a couple of hits and Elizabeth with 1. And this was anticipated to be a pitcher's duel, and so far so good. Yeah, it's hard to believe that 1 run's going to hold up in this game, even though both pitchers can establish their dominance. That's why the Mustangs got to come out swinging here in the third inning with the top of the order. Mendez walked to begin the game, and then he was eliminated on a 6-3 double play hit by the next hitter, Ulysses Hernandez. Mustangs and Cardinals also tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock right here on B106 and B106.com. And the winner of this game obviously has got a little bit of an advantage going into tomorrow, but run differential could prove to be big in this series if it comes down to the league champion. And the pitch to Mendez, and the breaking ball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes to the Fort Morgan pitcher. Wallstrom gets the sign from Brett Yates. And the offering. That's right there for a strike down the middle, belt high with a fastball. The count is level at 1-1. Again, Yates laying down the sign. 1 ball, 1 strike to the leadoff hitter here in the third inning, David Mendez, the pitch. And that is a little bit low. Took something off it. Ball 2. Strike 1 to Mendez. Pretty good location, but barely missed. You don't have to close on your house alone. Northern Colorado Title at 130 West Kiowa in Fort Morgan. It will provide you with a stress-free closing Northern Colorado Title. And the 2-1 offering. Swung on and lifted into right field. Should be a routine play. Spotting the baseball to his left under it and making the catch is Jeff Stevens for the out. There's 1 down here in the third. 1 down for Ulysses, who hit into the 6-3 double play that Cody Steinke turned in the first inning. Ulysses with a much more open stance than most hitters. Here's the wide by Wallstrom, the pitch, and the breaking ball is a beauty right there on the outer half for a strike. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to the Mustangs shortstop. 1-0 Fort Morgan here in the top of the third inning. The pitch, changeup is low. The count is level at 1-1. Now that off-speed pitch dips in the zone. As the Mustangs are out in front, they can only hit that thing on the ground. And the 1-1. Swung on and grounded left side, headed for left field. Steinke cannot get to it. It's a base hit for Ulises Hernandez, the third Mustang hit of the game. And with 1 out and 1 on, here's James Martins, who hit a fly ball towards the center fielder, Tyler Erzin, who came in about 2 or 3 steps, then went back, and the ball was barely over his head. Ulises with about a 2-step lead at first. The stretch by Wahlstrom. Throw back to first, back in diving, is the Mustang shortstop. Yeah, Martins didn't waste any time. He saw that first pitch from Wahlstrom in the first inning and hit it a pretty long way. The offering with a changeup down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Now, Wahlstrom looks like he's got 3 pretty effective pitches. Trying to work more on that changeup now. The fastball and the breaking ball being the 2 others. Throw back to first, but Ulises was essentially on the back. One on, 1 out. Here in the top of the third, Fort Morgan with a 1-0 advantage. Pitch to Martins. Swing and a miss. He threw it right by him, just above the knees. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, Martins really liked that pitch. He was just late. Right fielder Stevens shaded well towards right center. The stretch. Martins awaits the throw back to first. And, yeah, Ulises got speed, but he doesn't have a huge lead over there. It's going to be tough to pick him off unless he's either leaning or he expands the advantage. Wahlstrom looks in. The pitch. The changeup is a strike. That's an excellent pitch. On the outside corner at the knees, it's 1-2. Yeah, you got to get way down there just to make good contact on it. That pitch is just diving in the strike zone. 1-2 to the Mustang catcher. Hernandez with a 2-step advantage at first. Wahlstrom stretches. Wahlstrom delivers. Runner going. The breaking ball swung on and hit in the air down the right field side. Urich in the foul territory cannot make the backhanded catch. Hernandez had to race back to first. So it's nothing but a strike there. It was 1-2 anyway. It remains at 1-2. Yeah, had Urich made the catch, there was not going to be a double play because Ulises was racing back to first. And it barely glanced off his glove. Yeah, no error on the play because Urich was still not in position to make an easy play. That would have been a nice catch down the right field side in foul territory. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth 0 in the third inning. The stretch and a step off. Now, Wahlstrom appears to be a more deliberate pitcher in terms of his pace than David Mendez. The stretch and the offering. Swung on line toward right field. Stevens comes on. He makes the catch. Hernandez back to first. There's 2 down. That ball was hit on a line, but Stevens had Martins played perfectly, and that's why defensive positioning is extremely important. Nate Alexander hit that RBI triple in the opening frame. Good to see Nate back in the lineup. After being out a couple of games, he had that elbow examined. Go back to first. I don't have a complete diagnosis on that. We'll have to talk to Coach Langford more in detail, but they certainly need Nate's bat as well as he showed in the first inning. That's upstairs with the off-speed pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Committed to serving those in production ag, Premier Farm Credit is the gold standard in ag lending. 1 run on 3 hits for Fort Morgan. No runs on 1 hit for Elizabeth. Short lead for Ulises. And the 1-0. Swing and a miss down in the zone. Count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. To the Mustang left fielder, Nate Alexander. Ulysses off of first. The stretch. And the pitch. Runner going. The breaking ball outside. The throw to second by Yates on the hop. And the ball skips into center field. And no advance there by Ulysses. It's a straight-up stolen base. The count now reads at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Nate Alexander with another RBI opportunity. Ulysses with a sizable lead at second. Yates setting up a little bit towards the outside now. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and the ball diving down in the zone. 1-2. To Nate Alexander. Again, Yates laying down the sign. With 2 out and 1 on in the third. And the pitch down and away. Good location with a fastball, but it definitely missed. Count is level at 2-2. Ulysses again expanding the lead at second. He had a 1-out base hit in this third inning and stole second. The pitch. Breaking ball is a called strike 3 on the outside corner. That was a beauty. And the Mustangs are done in the top of the third inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left in scoring position. 2.5 complete in Elizabeth. It's Fort Morgan 1. Elizabeth nothing. You are listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back at Elizabeth High School where the Mustangs lead the Cardinals 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the third inning. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters against David Mendez, Brett Yates, Stuart Urich, and Tyler Erzin. Yates, the catcher, hitting from the right side. Line by Mendez, and the pitch swung on and tapped foul at the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Mustangs scored their lone run on Nate Alexander's triple in the top of the first inning. Mendez has struck out 3 over the first 2 frames. The wind in the 0-1 pitch, and that fastball is just a little bit low. The count is level at 1-1. Mendez gets the sign and the offering. Swing, and that ball might have been foul, tipped off Martin's glove. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brett Yates, the Elizabeth catcher, to lead off the bottom of the third inning on a gorgeous Friday afternoon in Elizabeth. Wind, and the 1-2. Breaking ball is lifted to right field. Jacob Frigg has got to go back a few steps, still going back, makes the one-handed catch, and there's 1 down in the bottom of the third inning. And that'll bring up the 9th place hitter, Stuart Urich, the right-handed hitting first baseman. Mendez doing a nice job here against the leadoff hitters. Obviously a huge key in minimizing the number of outs you have to record per inning. Wine and the pitch to Urich. The breaking ball is in the dirt. And well off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. The Mustangs next week have Fort Lupton on Wednesday at home and on the road on Friday. The offering runs inside with a heater. And they close out the regular season 2 weeks from today when they play on the road against Englewood. All on B106 and B106.com. Breaking ball is a strike to the knees. Down the middle, it's 2-1. Stuart Urich. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. The base is empty in the third. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing. The pitch. Oh, that ball got away from Mendez up and in with a curveball, 3-1. Yeah, and that's one thing I don't understand at times with David Mendez. You're facing a 9th place hitter. It's a 2-1 count. Actually threw him a 2-0 breaking ball, which surprised me. You want to challenge these guys. These are not the best hitters. That's why they're in the bottom of the lineup. Swung on and lifted in the air into right center field. Frick to his right, and the center fielder Bacchetta calls him off and makes the catch in the right center field gap. There's 2 down. But a nice job of Mendez coming back on that one and not allowing the hitter to reach via walk. 2 down. It'll send up Tyler Erzin, who struck out looking on a 3-2 breaking ball. So around the order the first time, Mendez strikes out 3 and allows just 1 hit. The pitch swung on and lifted foul off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. To Tyler Erzin. Mendez has been commanding that fastball today. The 0-1 swung on line foul. Watch out on that Elizabeth dugout. Boy, that thing was a late swing. The Mustangs occupying the third base side. Elizabeth on the first base side. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. The base is empty in the bottom of the third inning, and Fort Morgan leads by a run. And the 0-2. Curveball swung on and missed, and Mendez retires the side in order. We go to the 4th inning. It's Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan leads Elizabeth 1-0 as we head to the 4th inning in Elizabeth. The Mustangs scored their run in the first inning. Back-to-back triples from James Martins and Nate Alexander against the right-hander David Wallstrom, who in this frame will face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, Wes Anderson, Jarrett Baum, and Isial Franco. Anderson, the only left-handed hitter in the Mustang lineup today, or really any day for that matter, grounded to first in his first plate appearance. So he will stride to the plate against the right-hander Wallstrom. And the Mustangs did that damage in the first with 2 out and nobody on. Anderson coming into the game was hitting .333, so that drops a notch with that 0 for 1. Hitting with an open stance. Wind and pitch. And the changeup is a little bit low. That could be a strike to virtually every other hitter, but considering Anderson's height, that helped him in that regard. 1-0 to Anderson. Wallstrom on the left side of the rubber. Will kick and fire. Swung on and fouled straight back and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, this game was supposed to be played on Wednesday, but for obvious reasons had to be postponed. And today's game was supposed to be played in Fort Morgan. Instead, Wednesday turns into today in Elizabeth. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a ball above the letters. Anderson knew it. 1-2, and today's game turns into tomorrow morning's game at 11 o'clock in Fort Morgan. Anderson digging in a little bit closer after he helped out Wallstrom. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the opening hitter of the 4th inning. The offering. Swing and a miss. Blew it right by with a fastball at the letters, and there's 1 down. Second strikeout for Wallstrom. That'll bring up Jarrett Baum. Baum walked and was stranded in the 2nd inning. Wallstrom to this point has thrown 47 pitches, 26 for strikes, and 21 for balls. He's allowed 3 hits and 1 run. Wind and pitch, and the breaking ball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes to Jarrett Baum. Wallstrom gets the sign from the catcher, Brett Yates. And the 1-0 inside. Took something off of that, 2-0. Look to the team at Valley View for rehab, short-term, or long-term care needs. Valley View Villa, 815 Fremont, 867-8261. Baum ahead of the count. He already drew a walk in his opening plate appearance. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch to the DH. Swing and a miss and a ball at the letters. It's 2-1. He tried to make the 2-0 at that point. He took a hard swing at that one. Coach Josh Langford has said that even in some of their easy victories, they've gotten off to slow starts. Well, I wouldn't call this a slow start. They are facing a very good pitcher. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Threw a fastball right by Baum. The count is level at 2-2. Yeah, the Mustangs got to read the ball right out of the right-hander's fingers Because with 3 pitches to his repertoire, makes it more challenging. 2-2 to Bohm with 1 out in the 4th inning. And the offering. That is a called strike 3. Fastball outside corner just above the knees. Second strikeout in as many hitters. There's 2 down. Here's Misial Franco. He laid down a gorgeous sac bunt in his first plate appearance. Unfortunately, he did not play the second run. More than likely, he'll be swinging away unless he decides to catch Willie Weber napping at third with a bunt. Line and pitch, and that is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 Fort Morgan at the top of the 4th inning in Elizabeth. For the best prices and special offers on top quality car parts and accessories, visit Central Auto Parts, 1001 West Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. The offering. The breaking ball is upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes to the Mustang third baseman, Misial Franco. The Mustangs have stranded 3 in the game. Elizabeth has stranded 1. The pitch in the dirt. 3-1. Check that, 3-0. To Misial Franco. Well, let's see if Franco more than likely is going to take on the 3-0 pitch. He does, and it's right down the middle at the knees for a strike with a heater. 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 down, nobody on, top of the 4th inning in Elizabeth. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth 0. Franco waving that bat. And the 3-1 pitch swung on and lifted foul and out of play off to the right. Now full at 3-2. On deck is the 8th place hitter, Jacob Frick. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. With the bases empty. The wind and pitch in the dirt. Franco walks. 2-out walk will set it up here for Jacob Frick, who struck out swinging in his first at bat. We'll get the line here momentarily, the updated line for Wallstrom as soon as the program here cooperates. 2-step lead for Franco. And the pitch. Fastball is low. 1 ball and no strikes. To Jacob Frick. Now Wallstrom laboring a little bit in this frame. Although he looked good retiring the first 2 via the strikeout. And that is a little bit low. Boy, that barely missed. On a ball that was diving in the zone, and we'll have a visit from head coach Doug Severinsen. 2 balls, no strikes. Yeah, so far for Wallstrom, when you look at the strikeout to walk ratio, he struck out 4 and walked 3. However, 6 of his last 7 pitches have been thrown outside of the strike zone. That's the reason for the visit. 2 balls, no strikes. With 1 on and 2 down, 1-0 Fort Morgan at the top of the 4th inning. On a very pleasant Friday afternoon in Elizabeth. Conversation breaks up. And we'll see if Franco takes off from first. This could be a very ideal hitter's count. It's a good hitter's count. Is it a runner's count, too? A base stealer's count. The stretch and the 2-0, and that's in the dirt as well, 3-0. Yeah, it looked like Wallstrom just lost his balance on the mound. Three balls and no strikes. Sergio Baquerra is waiting on deck for the Mustangs. And Frick awaits the 3-0 pitch. That's low as well. He walked him on 4 pitches. Well, 2 strikeouts and 2 walks in the inning. 4 strikeouts and 4 walks in the game. Sergio Baquerra grounded out to the first baseman, Stuart Urich, in his first plate appearance. Oh, there's a big opportunity for Fort Morgan with Mendez on the hill. allowing just one hit through three, and the Mustangs up 1-0. The stretch and the offering. That's right there down the middle for a strike, just above the knees. It's 0-1. Your one-stop center for projects around your home, office, or yard is Ackley Building Center. They carry appliances. Ackley Building Center, 1402 Mill Street in Brush. No balls, one strike. Runners take their leads. The pitch swung on, tap foul up the third base side towards the Mustang dugout. The count is at 0-2 with Franco at second, Frick at first. Both were issued 2-out walks. Yeah, Paqueta's got to really protect right now. He's well behind in the count. Wallstrom gets the sign from Yates. And the 0-2 upstairs, very high, in fact, with a fastball 1-2. Just trying to get Paqueta to think about swinging at that, but he laid off. 1-2 to the Fort Morgan center fielder with 2 down and 2 on in the fourth inning. The pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The ball's in the dirt. Yates will pick it up and throw to first, and that retires the side. 3 strikeouts and 2 walks in the inning by David Wallstrom. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. 3.5 innings have been played in Elizabeth. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back at Elizabeth High School as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Fort Morgan with a 1-0 lead. Over the Cardinals as Cody Steinke steps in. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Steinke popped to right in the bottom of the first inning against David Mendez, who has thrown 45 pitches, 27 for strikes. The wind and offering. And that breaking ball bounces in. Well, that's a tough handle there by Martins. 1 ball and no strikes. To the Elizabeth shortstop. Hitting from the right side. The pitch swung on and fouled straight back. Challenged him with a heater. And the count is level at 1-1. So far for Mendez, he has struck out 4 and walked none. Wine in the 1-1 pitch. Swag and a miss, a fastball at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cody Steinke to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. This is for the lead in the Colorado 7 League. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a ball in the dirt. Martins will pick it up. He will throw to first to record the out. Strikeout number 5 for David Mendez. There's 1 down in the bottom of the fourth inning. That'll send up the left-handed hitting Brody Oliver. Oliver grounded right back to the mound in his first at-bat. Mendez looks in. Wind and pitch. Swing and a miss. Challenge him with a fastball in the inner half. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball down and in. 0-2, and Mendez right now is throwing some very difficult pitches to hit against a solid part of the order. Oliver is the number 3 hitter. 0-2 to Brody Oliver. The offering down and away in the dirt, in fact. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brush's local Napa and Hardware Hanks and Small Engine Repair Shop, Hometown Auto and Hardware at 1305 Edison Street. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, the base is empty. 1-0 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the fourth inning. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the left. 1 with a fastball. The count remains at 1-2. To Brody Oliver. More than likely, well, we'll see who the Mustangs go with tomorrow, either Ulysses or if Nate Alexander's healthy enough. But they're going with their ace on the road, which is perfectly logical. The pitch and the breaking ball is high. 2-2 to the left-handed hitting Brody Oliver. Martins lays down the sign. And the pitch. Upstairs and away with a heater, 3-2. Mendez is yet to walk a hitter. Elizabeth has not had a runner past second base. 3 balls and 2 strikes. On the left side of the rubber, Mendez fires, and that is a fastball down and away, barely missed. And it's a walk, the first issue to the game by Mendez, and an issue to Brody Oliver. Jeff Stevens hit a grounder back to the mound in his first plate appearance. He's 0 for 1. So Mendez pitching out of the stretch for the second time in the game. And Oliver with a very, very conservative lead. The offering, that's a fastball in the outside corner for a strike, thigh high. It's 0-1. Mustangs at double play depth against the Elizabeth right fielder. The stretch, Mendez home, and the breaking ball is inside. Count is level at 1-1. Fort Morgan's lone run came in the first inning. James Martins with a 2-out triple, then Nate Alexander duplicated what Martins did. The pitch, breaking ball inside, runner going. Martins throws to second, the tag, and he's going to be safe. Tag made by Swensik, but the throw is up the second base side. And it's a stolen base for Brody Oliver. And Stevens now in a hitter's count at 2 balls and 1 strike. Second stolen base of the game by Elizabeth. And they're now threatening here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Mendez delivers. Swung on and fisted on the ground to the shortstop, Ulysses. He throws the first sidearm, and there is 2 down. As the out is recorded, Elizabeth didn't like that, but he was clearly out. It was a close play, but he was clearly out. Even on the close play, advancing the third is Oliver. I know the fans don't like it, but quite frankly, he was definitely not safe. Let's put it that way. So 2 out for David Wallstrom with a base hit, the only one so far recorded by the Cardinals. He had that in the second inning. The pitch, the breaking ball is on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Yeah, nice job of Stevens getting up the line. He made it a very close play on that roller to Ulysses, but Ulysses had enough to get it there. Curveball is taken just a little bit up and away. Count is level at 1-1. You got to be careful with the curveballs with a man at third. There's about a good 20 feet between the catcher and the backstop. In case of a wild pitch, the pitch. Fastball is high. 2 balls and 1 strike to the Elizabeth pitcher. 1-0 Fort Morgan, but Elizabeth for the first time in the game has a runner at third base. And the 2-1. Breaking ball is in the dirt, blocked by Martins. Well, there is an open base. In fact, there's 2 of them. 3-1 to David Wallstrom, with Willie Weber on deck. Mendez gets the sign from Martins. And the pitch. Curveball is right there for a strike down the middle at the knees. 3-2. Wow, what does Mendez go with here? He's not scared to throw the 2 breaking ball. He gets the sign from Martins. 3-2 pitch. Fastball is swung on and lifted to right field. Jacob Frick is going back. He's still going back. Raines is under it to his left, and he makes the catch. The inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left at third. 4 complete. In Elizabeth, the Mustangs are clinging to a 1-0 lead on B106 and B106.com. We go to the 5th inning in Elizabeth. Fort Morgan with a 1-0 lead. And this pitching battle between 2 Davids, Mendez of Fort Morgan, Wallstrom of Elizabeth. And for the Mustangs in the 5th inning, they will be sending up the top of the order once again, David Mendez, Ulysses Hernandez, and James Martins. Wallstrom thus far with 66 pitches, 34 for strikes, 32 for balls. He's allowed 3 hits, walked 4, and struck out 4. So the important thing for Wallstrom, certainly not on his A game. However, he's allowed just 1 run. David Mendez has walked and popped out. He's 0 for 1. As he settles into the batter's box against the tall right-hander for Elizabeth. The first pitch of the bottom of the 5th inning is taken low on the changeup. 1 ball, no strikes. To David Mendez. Again, follow us Pitch by Pitch, KSIRsports.com. We got the Pitch by Pitch account of this entire game. And the 1-0 swung on and grounded towards left field. The shortstop Steinke in long throw to first, and he got him. David Mendez is retired by Cody Steinke on an excellent play in the hole. Josh Langford claiming that the first baseman Urich came off the bag, but Mendez is called out, and there's one down. One down for Ulysses Hernandez. And now I guess the home plate umpire and the first base umpire are going to meet. I'm not sure about what. The call was already made. I don't know if Urich was off the bag. That's what the Mustangs are claiming. But Steinke with an excellent play in the hole to his right. In fact, he got over there so quickly he didn't even have to backhand it. He just played it right in front of him. The umpire's conferring in foul territory up the first base line near the first base bag. Now let's see if the call holds. And, yeah, Mendez is going to be called out. There's one down. And that'll bring up Ulysses, who hit into a 6-3 double play, and then a base hit. And now Josh Langford conferring with a home plate umpire. And nothing got changed around. Grant Harden, the first base coach, he motioned that the throw was a little bit wide of the bag. But the call stands. So with one out and nobody on, Ulysses had 1 for 2 as the batter. That first inning run is held up so far. For David Mendez, whose ERA was .47 going in. Line and pitch, and the breaking ball is in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Hits have been very limited in this game. 3 for Fort Morgan, 1 for the Cardinals. The wine and the 1-0 way outside. With a fastball, it's 2-0. And again, this is Wahlstrom today. Not on his A game. 35 strikes, 35 balls, but he has battled any time the Mustangs have put runners on base to pitch. That's upstairs. 3-0. Yeah, we'll see if Coach Severinsen has any notion of pulling Wahlstrom anytime soon. He's not in trouble now, but he has struggled with his control here in the last inning plus. The 3-0 to Ulysses, and that is right there for a strike. Down the middle, belt high, it's 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan 1 and Elizabeth nothing on Nate Alexander's RBI triple in the first. The pitch down and in. He walked him. Threw him the changeup there. 5th walk issued by David Wahlstrom. Here's James Martins, who tripled and scored. And then Martins hit a bullet to right field that was caught by Jeff Stevens. So the Mustang catchers had the best swings of the day both times, and he's 1 for 2. Ulysses at first. The stretch, he's already got a stolen base to his credit. The pitch in the dirt. Yeah, it just looks like Wahlstrom at times is losing his balance on the hill, falling off. And when he falls off, the ball just dives into the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. To James Martins. Ulysses with a 1-step lead. Throw back to first, back in standing. Yeah, Fort Morgan has had base runners on virtually every frame. But they have stranded all of them but 1. The pitch, down and away. And clearly, something mechanical is going on there with Wahlstrom. 2 balls and no strikes. Now at 39 balls and 36 strikes, and this is a hitter's count. Throw back to first, and back in standing is Hernandez. So it's 2 balls, no strikes to James Martins, 1 out, 1 on in the 5th inning. Yates lays down the sign. Let's see if Wahlstrom goes with a fastball. The pitch right there, swung on in line towards left field for a base hit. at Hernandez to second. Second hit by Martins. Fourth by the Mustangs. 2 on and 1 out for Nate Alexander. Well, it's been in these situations that Wahlstrom has battled very nicely, and the Mustangs have been unable to convert. Fort Morgan has stranded 5 in the game. Elizabeth just 2, but the Mustangs are out hitting the Cardinals 4-1. Yulee at second, Martins at first. Alexander with an RBI triple, then struck out looking. The pitch, down in the zone, took something off of that. It's 1-0. And the biggest area to hit in is down that right field line. 1 ball and no strikes. Wahlstrom takes a deep breath, the stretch. And the offering. Swung on, that ball's grounded to short. Steinke to his right, the second for 1, back to first, and that is going to be in time, yes, for a 6-4-3 double play. A delayed call, but the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. 4.5 complete as Elizabeth turns their second double play of the game. It's Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.com. To the bottom of the 5th we go in Elizabeth. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing. As David Mendez has allowed just 1 hit. And he will face Willie Weber, Brandon Severinsen, and Brett Yates. Weber struck out swinging in his first plate appearance. And Mendez has to pitch that much better down the stretch with the Mustangs unable to stretch the lead. They scored in the first inning, and it's been 1-0 since. Swag, and a miss with a fastball at the knees. It's 0-1. To the left-handed hitting third baseman, Willie Weber. Mendez has thrown 67 pitches. The offering, swing, and a miss on a fastball tailing away. No balls and 2 strikes. Mendez has done an excellent job of minimizing the amount of outs by getting that first hitter per inning. The offering, swung on tap, found the breaking ball up the first base side. Count remains at 0-2. How low can Mendez get the ERA? 0.47 going in. Here's the wind, and the 0-2 pitch, up and away with a heater. Ball 1. Strike 2 to Willie Weber to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. Wind and pitch. Swing! And a miss on a fastball above the letters. There's 1 down. Strikeout number 6 for David Mendez. Brandon Severinsen struck out looking in his first at-bat, also a left-handed hitter. And it doesn't matter whether they're lefties or righties. He's facing 6 righties and 3 lefties in his lineup. Wind and offering. Squaring the bunt, and did he go with it? Well, I guess they'll call it a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Looked like he waved off the bat at the last second, and the ball was up in the zone anyway. 1 ball, no strikes to Severinsen. Hitting with a wide-open stance. That right foot a lot closer to first base than the left. A check swing with a heater, foul off to the left and out of play. The count is level at 1-1. Letter jackets, T-shirts, and more. Bijou T-Quest at 302 Main Street in Fort Morgan for all of your sports apparel. 1-1. Swing, and a miss on a fastball at the letters. It's 1-2. And that pitch becomes very unhittable. It's actually a rising fastball as well. 1-2. Mendez going for his 7th strikeout of the game. The pitch, and that is just inside. Right at the knees, but just missed the plate. 2-2 as he went with another fastball. Mendez not wasting any time. Gets the sign from Martins and the 2-2 pitch, and that's upstairs. 3-2, and Mendez looking at his finger. Hopefully nothing wrong, no blister. The ball just slipped. And the 3-2. Swung on. That ball is lifted on the left side to Franco, the third baseman, in foul territory. Makes the catch. And there's 2 down. That'll bring up the right-handed hitting catcher, Brett Yates. He popped to right in his first plate appearance. So Yates at 0 for 1. Wind and pitch. Swung on and grounded toward second. A huge hop, and now a second one for Zwedzig. Sidearms to first. It's a 1-2-3 inning as we'll head to the 6th inning in Elizabeth. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.com. Well, not every game lives up to its billing, but this one has so far. 1-0 Fort Morgan as we go to the 6th inning in Elizabeth. David Wallstrom still on the mound for the Cardinals. He has battled all afternoon. He induced a couple of double play ground balls. He's allowed only 4 hits, but he's been all over the place. 40 balls and 38 strikes. So his pitch count is still pretty good. Wes Anderson grounded to first and struck out. The Mustang first baseman at 0 for 2. As Wallstrom begins his 6th inning of work. Fort Morgan back in action tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock a.m. right here on B106 and B106.com at home against this very same Cardinals team. And that's up and away. 1 ball and no strikes to Wes Anderson. Laying down the sign is Yates. And the offering. That's right there. A changeup for a strike at the knees. It's 1-1. Mustangs had nobody on and 2 out in the first when Martins and Alexander hit back-to-back triples. The pitch, upstairs and away. Ball 2, strike 1. Now, Fort Morgan ideally would like to get Wallstrom into the 100-pitch mark by the end of this inning at the very least. And the 2-1 pitch swung on and popped foul. Behind the screen, it's 2-2. To Wes Anderson, the Mustang first baseman, a junior. Wallstrom looks in. And the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball is lifted foul. Way out of play. In fact, that ball was tailing in on Anderson. If he didn't swing at that pitch, he was almost going to hit him. 2-2 to Anderson with the bases empty. At the top of the 6th inning, the Mustangs lead the Cardinals 1-0. Wallstrom accepts the second sign to pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. The ball gets away, though, from Yates towards the screen. Anderson's going to record a strikeout, but he will reach. That's termed a wild pitch, third strike. So Anderson is on, and that's the benefit of swinging really at a terrible pitch. That'll bring up Jared Boehm. And looks like James Blackston will be the courtesy runner for Anderson. Well, they have turned a couple of double plays, including one last inning, which thwarted a Mustang rally. So James Blackston is at first base, running for Wes Anderson. And here's Jared Boehm, walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1. And the pitch, and a check swing foul on the ground up the first base side towards the Elizabeth dugout. It's 0-1, didn't mean to there. No balls and 1 strike to Boehm. This is a huge inning for Fort Morgan, leading 1-0. When you're the visiting team, you got to put on some insurance runs here. Throw back to first, back in diving is Blackston. 0-1 to JB. Blackston leads at first. The stretch by Wallstrom. The right-hander delivers. Swung on and popped up into foul territory. Up the first base side, Stuart Urich has room and makes the one-handed grab. Just in back of that Elizabeth dugout, there's one down.
Up next, the out number 23, Franco.
There's Misial Franco. Hitting for the Mustangs. Franco in the game with a sack bunt and a walk. So officially 0-for-0 in the game. Again, Blackston with a very short lead. Wallstrom comes home, and that's in the dirt, blocked nicely by Yates. 1 ball and no strikes. And regardless of what happens today, both teams have to hit better tomorrow. But you know that it's tough to hit David Mendez, and Mustangs have had their issues here with David Wallstrom. 4 hits only for Fort Morgan, but only 1 for Elizabeth. The pitch. Changeup is there for a strike on the outer half at the knees. And the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. And this has been an inning that Wallstrom has thrown a lot more strikes than balls. Now he's getting back into that groove. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Top of the 6th, Fort Morgan leads 1-0. Throw back to first, but Blackston is practically on the bag. I think that was just a courtesy move over there by David Wallstrom. Laying down the sign is Yates. The pitch. Curveball, swing and a miss. That was a sharp bender. 1-2 to Misial Franco. With Jacob Frick on deck. Now, Blackston is not showing any signs of taking off. He doesn't have a big lead. Unless the Mustangs put together a hit and run. It's only a 1-step lead. The pitch. Fastball is up and in. The count evens at 2-2. Stubbs Gas and Oil at I-76 and Highway 39 in Wiggins. Don't delay and get there to see why convenience is Stubbs' middle name, Stubbs Gas and Oil. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The stretch. The runner goes. Swung on in line towards center field. It is caught by the second baseman, Severson. Throw back to first and cover off James Blackston. Severson was covering, and he dove to his right in the shortstop side of the bag and made an incredible play. The 3rd double play turned in this game by Elizabeth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.
Next up,
we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, 9-1-2. Batting here for Elizabeth. Fort Morgan with a 1-0 lead, and because the Mustangs had to hit and run, Brandon Severson, the second baseman, was covering the bag. If not, that would have been an easy base hit into center field, and Blackston would not have been doubled up. But instead, we head to the bottom of the 6th, the pitch, and that fastball is low, 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, just a bad break for Fort Morgan on that line drive. And the breaking ball is a strike on the inside corner. Hit by Missile Franco. 1 ball, 1 strike. The wind and pitch. Bounced it in there. 2-1. Urick in his first at bat popped to right. So he's 0 for 1. A 1-hitter so far for David Mendez, but this gets tougher and tougher as the game goes along, and the Mustangs cannot extend their 1-0 first inning lead. The pitch. Breaking ball is down and in. Mendez has not walked anybody today. And every pitch becomes that much more precious here. 3-1 to the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 6th inning. The pitch swung on and grounded up the middle, headed for center field for a base hit. A base hit by Stuart Urick. The second hit of the game for Elizabeth. And they've got the go-ahead run now at the plate. And Mendez only with 4 strikeouts in the game. Unless we have to adjust his total. We'll see. That doesn't look right. I'm going off a computer-generated statistical program here. The stretch and the offering, squaring the bunt, and he waved that and fouled it off at the plate. Tyler Erzin has struck out twice. Looking and then swinging. No balls and 1 strike. But Mendez has not walked anybody. Throw back to first and back in diving is Urick. And the temperature is falling here. And Mendez is now wearing an undershirt. But, of course, he's been heating up with the way he's been throwing. Throw back to first, and it was not thrown away, although Anderson went running as if the ball was thrown away, trying to fool the Elizabeth base runner. Yeah, 6 strikeouts. All right, that's the updated. And 1 walk by Mendez. I think I mentioned he had none, but he's walked 1. The stretch and the offering. And he takes it inside with a fastball, 1-1. Mendez has thrown 85 pitches in the game, 49 for strikes, 36 for balls. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, nobody out. 1-0 Fort Morgan in the 6th inning. Swung on and lifted foul off to the right. 1-2. Erzin, the leadoff hitter in this lineup, so it's the 1, 2, and 3 hitters that Mendez has to contend with after the 9th place hitter, Stuart Urich, hit a base hit right up the middle to start this bottom of the 6th inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Huge pitch in the game. The Mustangs have not turned a double play in this game. They haven't had too many opportunities, but Elizabeth has turned 3. 1-step lead for Urich. And the offering. The curveball is up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting center fielder. Again, virtually no lead there for Urich. Very, very conservative. Mendez delivers. The runner going, swung on and grounded foul up the third base side. Now, Urich must have a ton of speed, because I tell you, he has virtually no lead there. He took off. He had a great jump, though. Now Mendez is going to have to watch him a little bit closer. As the count remains at 2-2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing. Mendez stretches. Mendez delivers. Swing! And a miss with a fastball he threw right by him. There's 1 down. 1 down for Cody Steinke. Steinke popped up and then struck out. The right-handed hitting shortstop is 0 for 2. Strikeout number 7 for Mendez. And again, the Mustangs at double play depth. Mendez stretches. Throw back to first. Back in standing is Urich. Apparently lost his balance over there. We told you a few times, follow us pitch by pitch. Get a detailed pitch by pitch account of this game at KSIRsports.com. The offering. And the fastball rides inside. It's 1-0. 1-0 to Cody Steinke. Mendez looks in for the sign. And the 1-0 pitch, and the breaking ball is just inside. He thought he had it. Instead, it's 2-0. 1 run on 4 hits for the Mustangs. No errors. They've left 6 on base. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base for Elizabeth. Now a big pitch to be made. The 2-0 to Steinke. Swing and a miss on a curveball. Wow, that's confidence. 2-1. He did not want to come in with a heater, and Steinke took a swing at what he thought was a fastball. Instead, it dove out of the zone. 2-1 to the Elizabeth shortstop. The pitch runner going, taken for a strike to throw to second, the slide, the tag. At second base, as Wenzig applies the tag on Stuart Urich, and there's 2 out. And 2 strikes as well on Steinke. A perfect throw by James Martins. And now 1 pitch away from getting out of the frame. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Steinke. Here's the line and pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball on the inner half. And the inning is over. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 8 in the game. 1 hit for Elizabeth. They leave the bases empty. We head to the 7th. Fort Morgan 1. Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.com. We go to the 7th inning. The Mustangs are in the lead by a score of 1-0 in Elizabeth over the Cardinals. Tremendous baseball game so far. Let's see, we're going to clarify the game time for tomorrow. Originally, it was at 11 a.m. I've been told now it could be that it was moved to 1 p.m., so let's see what we got. Tomorrow's game, it'll be a 1 p.m. start, so that is official now. Tomorrow, Fort Morgan and Elizabeth, 1 p.m. and not 11 a.m. right here on B106 and B106.com. So 2 hours later than originally scheduled. We begin the 7th inning. The pitch. Fastball is upstairs to Jared Frick. 1 ball and no strikes. To the Mustang right fielder. Check that, Jacob Frick. I believe I said Jared, the pitch. And that is on the outside corner for a strike. Took something off of that. It's 1-1. Jacob Frick struck out swinging, then walked. But he was one of 6 Mustangs stranded on the base paths. Here's the wine and offering. Swung on, grounded up the middle. The shortstop, Steinke, to his left, has got it. Sets, fires to first, and there's 1 down. One down here in the 7th. Here's Sergio Paquera. The grounder to first and then struck out. So he is 0 for 2. That's not a huge surprise, even though these teams are very good, that first inning run has stood up and he squared the bunt and tried to bunt a pitch down and away on a breaking ball. And it's strike 1. To Paquera. No balls and 1 strike. The Mustangs are looking for some insurance here in the 7th against right-hander David Wallstrom. Up and in. Took something off of that. The count is level at 1-1. One ball and 1 strike. Here's the wind and pitch. Upstairs again, took something off at 2-1. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East at 1209 Main Street in Fort Morgan will professionally fit you into the car truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, Ehrlich Toyota East. They've got that great tent sale going on right now at the Walmart parking lot. Right there off of I-76 and exit 82. Swung on and grounded to short. Steinke again to his left. A big Sunday hop. Throws to first, and Paquera is out number 2 in the 7th inning. Steinke's been excellent short today. That'll bring up David Mendez. Walked, popped out, and grounded to Steinke, who made a great play in the hole. So Mendez officially at 0 for 2. Wallstrom gets the sign. Wind and pitch. The curveball is a strike at the knees on the inside corner. It's 0-1. And upcoming is the 100th pitch to be thrown by David Wallstrom in this game. He accepts the second sign and the offering. A little bit outside. Tried to back up that changeup. It's 1-1. So once again, Fort Morgan and Elizabeth tomorrow at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, the official start time in Fort Morgan right here on B106 and B106.com. And the 1-1 pitch swung on and popped foul to the screen. 1-2 to David Mendez. With 2 out and the base is empty here in the 7th. The Mustangs with a 1-0 lead on Nate Alexander's RBI triple in the first inning. Mendez back in the box. And the 1-2 pitch outside with a fastball. Count at 2-2. The Cardinal fans wanted it, but it was clearly off the plate. Good pitch, though, thrown by Wallstrom. 2-2 to David Mendez. Yates lays down the sign. And Wallstrom steps off. Not a lot of offense in this game, but the Mustangs might not need it. And the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball is taken for a called strike 3. 1-2-3 inning for David Wallstrom. As we'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.com. David Mendez is looking for the complete game 2-hitter. struck out 8 and walked 1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning in Elizabeth. Very simple here. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing. But it'll be the heart of the order coming up for the Cardinals. Brody Oliver, along with Jeff Stevens and David Wallstrom. Oliver's 0 for 1. He grounded to the mound in the first inning, then walked. The only walk issued by the Mustang right-hander. Mendez looks in for the sign. And the pitch. Swung on and grounded on the right side. The first baseman Anderson has it, and he'll run to the bag for the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning.
Up next, we have number 12, Jeff Stevens.
1 out for Jeff Stevens, a right fielder. Stevens has grounded to the mound and to the shortstop, Ulysses Hernandez. He's 0 for 2. Mendez has thrown 95 pitches in the game. Wallstrom just a shade over 100. The line by Mendez, the pitch, swung on and grounded up the middle. The second baseman swelling to his right, on his knees, throws the first on a hop, and Anderson could not handle it. Oh, it looked like a pretty good hop for Anderson. He could not handle it, and Anderson points to himself. We'll call it a base hit because it was an excellent play by Zwedzik, but it looked like Anderson should have handled that hop. Nonetheless, because that ball was in the hole, we'll call it a base hit. The third of the game for Elizabeth. Here's David Wallstrom, singled and popped out. He's the winning run, and the fastball is low. Yeah, Zwedzik did the right thing. Went to a knee, threw it on a hop, and it bounced perfectly for Anderson. Looked like he would have been barely out, throw back to first back and diving is Stevens, who's got some speed. He nearly beat out an infield grounder in his second plate appearance. 1 ball, no strikes, with 1 out, 1 on, 1-0 Fort Morgan in the 7th. And the pitch to Wallstrom. Fastball right down the middle, just below belt level, it's strike 1. Yeah, regardless of who wins this game, this has been an outstanding baseball game. The Mustangs need 2 outs to improve to 14-0. Martins lays down the sign. And the offering, the curveball is right down the middle, strike 2. Keep in mind, if Fort Morgan wins this game 1-0, they're going to have to win tomorrow because if this boils down to run differential and Elizabeth happens to win, 1 run differential might not be enough, but you got to take care of this one first. The pitch, runner going, swung on and fouled to the screen on the breaking ball. Boy, great pitch thrown by David. And Wallstrom got a piece of it. And head coach Doug Severinsen realizes his team has got to do everything to manufacture a run, which is why Stevens was taking off from first. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. In the bottom of the 7th inning, the stretch by Mendez. Wallstrom awaits the pitch. Very high. The ball goes to the screen. Ricochets back to Martins. And on the wild pitch, Stevens to second. He overthrew that fastball. And it is now 2-2. First wild pitch thrown by Mendez in this game.
Come on, David!
2 balls, 2 strikes. With a man in scoring position now in the 7th inning. Mendez gets the sign, the stretch, and the offering. Curveball is high. 3-2. 3 hits, including 1 in this inning, and that was of the infield variety. On deck is Willie Weber. You got first base open. You don't have to give in. Mendez more than likely might go with that 3-2 breaking ball. And the offering. Swung on, that is grounded to the shortstop. Ulysses to his right, he's got it. Sets, throws to first, and that is in time to retire the hitter Wallstrom. The Elizabeth fans thought he was safe, but I got to say, again, another close play, but he was definitely out. Stevens advances to third. Wow, man, they're looking for a call here. You're not going to get a call. You're not going to get a call. In fact, had he been safe, that would have not have been a good call. Willie Weber has struck out swinging twice. A man 90 feet away. The tying run is at third and Jeff Stevens. Wind and pitch. Fastball is up and away. Nice job by Martins. Well, I thought that ball was going to maybe go over his glove. He really had to reach for that one. 1 ball and no strikes. Mendez is operating out of the windup with a man at third, 2 down. And the 1-0. Fastball tails on the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mendez ready. Gets the sign from Martins. And the 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled back. The count is at 1-2 to the Elizabeth third baseman. With a man at third, 2 down in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Mustangs leading 1-0. Mendez will throw the 107th pitch of the game for him right now. He gets the sign. And he delivers. Mendez strikes out Weber. And the Mustangs have won the game in Elizabeth 1-0. In the bottom of the 7th inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth 0. A 2-minute break on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back at Elizabeth. Welcome to the Mustang Post-Game Show, brought to you by High Plains Bank and Wiggins. The friendly staff at High Plains Bank and Wiggins can assist you with a home loan, equity line of credit, commercial loan, or checking account. To receive hometown service in a higher plane, visit High Plains Bank today. The Mustangs win the game in Elizabeth by a score of 1-0, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors, 6 left on base for the Mustangs, no runs, 3 hits, no errors, 3 left on base for Elizabeth. The winning pitcher, David Mendez. He goes the distance, striking out 9, walking just 1. David Wallstrom, who struck out 7 and walked 5, takes the loss. Time of the game, 1 hour and 47 minutes. The Mustangs, with 2 outs and nobody on in the first inning, got a triple from James Martins, which really was a fly ball misjudged by the center fielder Tyler Erzin. But once he found the range of the ball, he kept going back and went over his head. And then just 2 pitches later, Nate Alexander would hit a smoke-filled triple there in the left center field gap. I mean, he just hit that line drive extremely hard, and certainly not a misjudge by Erzin on the hit by Nate Alexander. And that lead lasted all the way through the 7th inning, as the Cardinals did have a runner at third with 2 down, but a strikeout to end the game by David Mendez, as he was able to pick up his 9th strikeout, and the Mustangs improved to 7-0 in Colorado 7 league play, 14-0 overall. Elizabeth drops to 10-4 overall, and 6-1 in league play. James Martins did have 2 of Fort Morgan's 4 hits today. All right, so the Mustangs will be back at it coming up tomorrow when they take on Elizabeth once again. Now, original game time was 11 a.m., but the first pitch officially 1 o'clock. First pitch from Fort Morgan at 1 o'clock between the Mustangs and the Elizabeth Cardinals. Outstanding job by our sound engineer and producer, as always, Trenton Klimper. I'm John Beltran. The final score once again from Elizabeth. A thrilling game as David Mendez tosses a complete game 3-hitter. Nate Alexander with a first inning RBI triple. And the Mustangs beat the Elizabeth Cardinals 1-0 on B106 and B106.com.